I thought that was a class act. Anyway, for more, I'm joined by Robert Costa, national political reporter for the Washington Post and an MSNBC political analyst, and Jennifer Rubin, opinion writer and author of the Washington Post Right Turn blog, and Matt Schlapp, chairman of the American Conservative Union. Why don't we start with you? Matt, what do you make of the following things? We've picked up some information. Now, you may challenge it, as is your wont. But apparently President Trump went to Comey at one point and said, kill the Flynn investigation. He's my pal. He's a good guy, blah, blah, blah. Whatever the way he said it, he said it. Trump also went to Coates and did the same thing, kill the Flynn investigation. However he said it according to that. Also went to Mike Rogers, head of the NSA, according to Rogers' former deputy, and said, kill this, talk about this collusion in the campaign. So we have a lot of evidence of the president going out and trying to stop the investigators, trying to chill them, whatever, charm them. Maybe that's your term. But why would he be doing all this? And how do you defend it, at least as evidence that this guy wasn't going to let an investigation take its course, that he had to keep putting his finger in the eye of somebody to stop it?
Well, two things there, I would say. The first thing is that I think everybody certainly anybody who supports Donald Trump and Republicans are concerned about what they read. And they're concerned of the fact that sometimes it's been hyped. I read for weeks and watched television where the impression was Donald Trump was under investigation. And then it took this whole public foray for Jim Comey to reveal that 3 times he told them he wasn't under investigation. Now we learned in the last couple of days that perhaps he's back under investigation. One of your reporters just said criminal investigation. So I'm gotten to the point where I would just like to know directly from the counsel, when he makes it public what it is they're doing, that's when I will know that it's happening. Up to now, there's either been misreporting or there's been some very good reporting where they've gotten leaks. I don't know which one it is, but I know the second piece of this. All the lawyers I talked to, including the lawyers I talked to in the White House counsel's office during the Bush 43 administration, tell me that they don't see obstruction of justice here, and we're throwing around that term very casually.
Jennifer? Because I keep reading these stories and they have a pattern to them. The president will not let this thing go on his own. Now, you can argue 1 or 2 stories. No story's perfect. In fact, all of them are not perfect, but you put together a pattern, and nobody's really challenging, and not even my friend Matt here is challenging the fact that the president would do something like this, because if it comes out he did, he's going to say, yeah.
Right.
I knew he was capable of it. Why is this, to me, he's either guilty and therefore he's covering up, or he has some sort of condition in him, says, these people are out to get me, I'm going to do everything I can to stop them, even if they don't have anything on me.
Well, it may be some of both. It may be that there's something there, and it may not be the Russian collusion. It may be financial issues, and you have to look at the team that Mueller is putting together.
You've got to nail that down. What do you mean?
Mueller has brought on 3 or 4 top prosecutors. Several of them have specialized in financial crimes, bribery, money laundering. Why are they in there? We don't know, but they've come onto the team. So whatever is bothering Trump may not have to do directly with the election and collusion.
It may not have to do with Trump.
It may have to do with
Manafort.
And it may have to do with Jared. So there's that there.
I think it's Jared, because I think Jared has given a tremendous license by his father-in-law to take on foreign policy.
Yes.
It's unbelievable for a guy that's never done anything. And he may well have talked himself into something, and the Russians have all this on tape somewhere, and that's what the father-in-law is worried about.
Absolutely.
That would make sense to me.
Absolutely. And beyond that, I think you have somebody who has no conception that he's even breaking the law. It's not an excuse, but I think
he doesn't know by now.
He just blunders around. He got himself a joker lawyer from New York who doesn't know what the heck he's doing. He should get himself a real lawyer. He should be quiet.
No, Kasowitz has now got himself a spokesman, Robert. I love this way. Not only are they getting it away from the White House, they're getting it away from Kasowitz, so that now the reporters in the White House, like Kristen Welker, who's a great reporter, can't ask, is not permitted to ask about the Russian probe at the White House, because you can't have anybody ask these questions, because they must go to Kasowitz's flak.
Based on my reporting, Kasowitz is highly influential right now within the West Wing. People describe him as a mirror to the president's personality, the president's desire to confront the special counsel. He does have a spokesman, Mark Corallo, this combative veteran Republican strategist. And you're right, within the West Wing there was talk of having this war room to really...
What happened to the war room?
Disappeared. The president, Kushner, Bannon, Priebus decided to farm out a lot of these questions because they know the Republican agenda on Capitol Hill is so stalled. If they're not focused on that and consumed by Russia, they'll never... anything
Well,
done.
in terms of PR, I'll give this back to Matt. You can argue that that's what Clinton did when he had Fabiani take all the Monica questions and did make McCurry ruin his career by answering all those ridiculous. Well, they were true stories. Of course, that was the problem. It was all true. And if you had to answer it all and flack it, you would look like you weren't honest to start with. Let me ask you about Trump. Do you think he's innocent of all charges? Do you believe he had nothing to do with the Russians during the campaign? You, personally, Matt Schlapp. Do you believe that?
Chris, let me try to answer. I think he is not guilty of any of these charges, and I think the reason for that is after 11 months.
This way, was he involved in any effort to play? No. I just want a simple answer. Did he have communication with the Russians in response to their efforts to help him win? Did he have any way of saying thank you for that?
No,
I'm going to take it easy on the sanctions.
No, nothing illegal. Nothing illegal or inappropriate because, Chris, think about it. They didn't need the help of this presidential campaign to figure out what to do if they wanted to do something. What they did was rudimentary, and they didn't need anybody to help them do it. And I'm not sure this presidential campaign, of which I supported, I'm glad he won, but it wasn't exactly the most cutting-edge campaign we've ever seen. The idea that the Russians would go to the Trump campaign to figure out how to meddle with the election is really absurd on its face, and not one leaked story about any evidence of any wrongdoing.
So all these conversations with Lavrov and Kislyak and all this involvement with Kushner chatting with these guys, and of course Sessions chatting with them, and of course Manafort dealing with them, and Carter Page, all those communications, all that stuff was just what, irrelevant, incidental, or what? You say it has no meaning to?
I can't